so this is episode 5 or 6. I can't remember how much I did last time, but we are continuing on from the last episode. And, we started testing, or I started testing. I'm a one-man team. I don't know why we're saying we, but I have been testing Trailblaiz every single night, just going out for walks and making sure things are loaded and everything's good inside, and everything's been great. I'm really happy about it. I had a really good meeting with my mentor, Adrian. We have meetings every Monday to talk about the content that I'm working on for him for his podcast, and he gave me like some crazy. Sorry, I'm actually just in the process of actually getting stuff up at the App Store right now, so I just gotta press a couple buttons. But he generated a new App Store Connect API. Damn, I didn't do any of that stuff yet. Okay, I'm gonna talk about this stuff in a second, actually, but and the frustrations behind actually getting stuff up onto the App Store. So yeah, Adrian gave me some really cool advice, and it was that you gotta focus on first principles, and you gotta really focus the app on the transformation and the first step that people can take when it comes to Trailblaiz. I think I inundated, and this is a good lesson for anyone who's trying to build a product right now, and it's that it's so important to keep things simple. When we just focus on the first win, man. People will be able to get a first win right away when you're building a product, and it's gotta be simple. So he's like, all the dashboards, everything, all the analysis, all the insights are great and everything, but people need to know what to do next, right? So that they don't get paralysis by analysis, and all of us have been through that stage. So that led me to pause getting all my stuff up on the App Store and get ready for testing. I started building the email list. I'm up to around 50-60 emails right now, which is great. I'm trying to aim to get to 100. I'm getting some organic stuff from my social media coming in too, which is really cool, which it's really nice to know strangers are actually down for your mission and down for what you're building. But yeah, I decided to pause a couple of days. We're in the beginning of April right now, and I wanted to get my test builds out at the end of the week to testers. And I think I still can do that. It's only Thursday, but I had to reiterate again, and I had to rebuild again. I want to build the daily insights again, and the key is because the daily insights is reflection on what you just talked about. And the weeklies are great and the monthlies are great, but those are usually only going to be valuable to someone who's actually made it to that point. So it's so important for me to focus on that customer journey, or that journey of someone who's using my product, to be able to build that trust in the product, the confidence in the product, to be able to use it daily, so that they can eventually get to the weekly insights and the monthly insights, which are super cool. But first, I gotta wow them with the daily insight, right? So keep it simple. The first page, just get your information, dump your stuff in, and then you should be able to see a win right away. So that's what I reiterated on. We added things in what should you focus on your next journal, right? Based on this journal, this is what you should think about for the next one. And we also added parts in there about what's the one thing you need to focus on, and the key insight, the key overall summary, the 1-sentence summary of your last insight, right? So it's just sorry, I'm just trying to get an update here on the App Store. Yo, it's already, all right, so I just connected my app to the App Store. That's great. So that's a cool segue too. As I've mentioned to you guys, with coding, I'm building on Claude Code, and to get your stuff from your staging development, your testing development site, staging area, so going from actually I'm just building in this lab to now getting it up to the App Store and the Google Play Store to be able to actually upload it, put all the information of your app in, the name, the description, the ages it's for, what kind of information are you collecting and stuff like that. This is all very important information that you're going to need to know when you're getting your app up on the App Store. Okay, so I've actually uploaded to the Google Play Store with the last version I created back in December 2025, and that process actually wasn't that bad at all. So it's just I had my terminal, my Claude Code at the time, Replit, create the build for me, because you have to create a build and upload the build up to the Play Store, put all your checks and balances in place, and then you can start inviting users from the Google Play Store and the App Store, the iOS App Store for Apple, which is 80-90% of your users, is going to be the exact same similar process, where you're making a build, you're connecting it directly through to the App Store, and then you're going to use for Apple something called Test Flight, and that's something that I'm about to start configuring today. And Test Flight is going to allow you to start inviting users to start using your app and start giving you feedback, which is the next step before you start to actually release onto the App Store, right? So just going one step at a time. Adrian was also telling me about App Mafia as well, and these are just a bunch of young guys under the age of 25 who are just whippersnappers, man. They're smart when it comes to building apps. So they created this free course where you can actually just walk through the entire course in about 13, 14 hours. I'm about like 4 or 5 hours in, and you learn about their journey and how they built their apps, and they give you a lot of great information when it comes to building, designing first and then building, and then marketing your app and everything like that. Right now, I know these guys are big on UGC. I just haven't gotten up to that section yet, and I'll report back once I finish that section too. But yeah, things are very exciting. Yesterday was a little bit frustrating because like getting stuff onto the App Store, it's a little bit complicated, and the build was failing last night over and over and over again. And I'm like, is there something wrong with the code? Or is there something just wrong with the network? I had no idea. So basically just had to keep on pushing the build over and over and over again. I was working up until like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning last night, just trying to get the build up. And successfully it did get sent up, but I couldn't see it on the App Store Connect yet. Like it picked up that the app was received, but for some reason I couldn't see the build yet, right? So that was just what I was just trying to do right now, which was like trying to get the App Store to be able to pick up my build so that I can select it and like add it to the description. And I think that's the last step before I can actually start getting testers emailed out, and I'm hoping to do that tonight. As I have a free night, I don't have my kid with me, so I'm gonna be working again on my open nights to be able to get that information out and hopefully get some testers and get some really valuable feedback. Yeah, we're very excited about that stage. And yeah, we'll continue to push it out and we'll see what happens, And yeah, I just want to thank my mentor Adrian for giving me that first principles talk and giving me a better idea of like how I can get this out of the gate and get it valuable, right? And I mean, and again, I've said it before, this is only like 20-30% of the battle is making a good product, right? Right now in today's landscape, selling it is the hard part. So I've been committing to social media, making social media every single day for my personal brand, and creating a Trailblaiz page as well, where I'm putting carousels up, where I'm just putting good information around things like imposter syndrome, the weight of your expectations for yourself, and just like I'm getting into like the mind of leaders, because like I feel like that's who I want to target. I think I want to target leaders and people who have responsibilities, like parents, or people who are just juggling way too much. And I think that I built it around like metrics, insights, and just a way to better understand yourself, so that number one, you don't crack under the pressure of all these responsibilities, and number two, you can thrive. Once you're ready to, once you're sorted, then you can thrive. So I see it kind of like as a coaching tool, right? I'm identifying people's patterns. I'm giving them a ritual that they can walk and reflect, and then I'm just with them along the way as they try to become better versions of themselves. And I'm literally using this for myself, and I'm building this for myself, right? Because I am a very often overwhelmed parent / entrepreneur. I'm still working. I'm not going to be working 9 to 5 anymore in a couple of months, but it's just very it can be a lot. And just trying to balance health and just trying to stay in shape and eat well, and eating well involves cooking well, involves going to the grocery store and buying like good ingredients. And then I didn't even mention just my friendships, right? Keeping up with friendships and my community work, which is another separate thing too, right? Doing my community service stuff with my dad's group. And then literally the last thing I can think about is even just romantic relationships. Been single for a long time, but the mind always tells you that you should be dating and talking to people, and like that takes up a lot of bandwidth as well, right? And I don't really feel like now is the right time for something like that. So and it's crazy because Trailblaiz is built to track all this stuff, right? I don't know if I told you guys about this feature last time, but I have a really cool theme and thought organizer that's built into the features, where if you're talking too much about one area of life, for example, work and purpose, and you're talking very little about health or relationships, like it'll show you this in like a pie chart kind of way, and it'll tell you that like, hey, you haven't talked much about your health or your relationships, and like what's going on there, right? Where it's been very heavily working, like how do you say that? Very, very heavily allocated to work. What's the word I'm looking for? Construed? Anyways, it'll show you at a glance like what's important in your life right now and what you should pay a little bit more attention to, because ultimately I believe, at least, and the goal of the app believes, is that a fully balanced life, even though you're never going to get full balance. Like I always tell people who try to get balance in their life, it's like walking on a tightrope, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to be balanced the whole time. The whole time you're just going to be balancing. So this app will help you balancing in the process of balancing. So that's it for this one. And I hope you guys are following along. I haven't even posted the first one yet, but hopefully by the time in a day or two, I'll start posting the first episode, and then you'll start seeing these pop up. And yeah, my next episode is going to be talking about competition, doing competitive analysis, and the whole mindset and mind state you have to be in to go and compete with other people who are doing great things and are doing well in the space. And you're hoping to go in and disrupt and possibly take some of that market share. Or, and that's a very interesting journey as well, right? So we'll be getting into that. And yeah, if you're a founder, or if you're someone who appreciates journaling and self-awareness, you'll like some of the stuff on my page, man. I'm using my old account that I posted from 2014, so a lot of really cool mental health stuff. You'll see me kind of going through my crazy journey there, and I kind of disappeared for a while. I was just going through a lot of stuff, and now I'm kind of back on the content game. So building in public with this, and if that is your vibe too, people, founders building in public, working with AI, learning and figuring out problems and solving them with AI, and literally doing it alone with no computer science background. If that interests you as well, then this definitely is the right path to be following. I'm the right person to be following. Drop a comment below if you have any questions at all, and be happy to help you out on your journey. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.